Hello, I'm here on Church Street on this windy, warm Tuesday afternoon. There's a religious guy there with some sort of stereo on the floor out of my control. He's been there a while. I've waited. Seems like he's not going, so I have to get my video done. I have things to do, and as you know, I'll do these videos regardless. Those I rightfully criticise, my MP in Bain, refugees welcome, Paula MP for Wavertree, who I'll be challenging in the upcoming general election. Even Ricky Tomlinson, coach for refugees, few quid in the pocket. Dan Carlton, diversity is our strength, and all the other councillors, Kensington and Fairfield, Ian Robinson, Wendy Simon, Liz Parsons. To date, none of those I rightfully criticised have addressed the worries and concerns facing the good people of this city regarding cultural change. They have just ignored this thorny issue. They don't want to discuss it. They don't want to talk about it. Yes, I've said this many times before, but the reason I'm saying it again is they're not going to address it, right? They're just going to keep ignoring what is happening to our city in the hope Joe Owens gets fed up and packs his bags and goes home, which that's not happening. Or the good people of this city, like other people of other towns and cities, just eventually accept what's happening and roll over. Well, that's not happening in Liverpool. We're Scousers. That is not happening. You've seriously misjudged if you believe that's going to happen. That most certainly isn't going to happen. So they're not going to address what is happening to our city, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you believe they're ignoring Joe Owens? Like I've said, where's all the banshees and harpies screaming and shouting no to Joey Owens, yes to refugees? You know the score, you've seen it so many times before. Silence, they're not even here. They don't want any attention brought to Joe Owens. They just want to give me the silent treatment. You'll have to bear with me, this guy behind me. He's another one of these disruptive noises that just appear from nowhere. Don't know who puts them there or asks them to go there. Probably my suspicious mind, but there you go. I'll let you be the judge. So, given to date, all those I rightfully criticise have not mentioned or dealt with the cultural transformation our glorious city is undergoing. They've just ignored it, and they're going to continue to ignore it. Like I've said, where did he stand regarding myself? Well, they're just going to hope I get fed up with it and pack my bags and go home with that. That's not happening. Or come the general election, they'll have some juicy gossip on Joe Owens or something, and they'll attack me in the echo that way without addressing cultural change. But you see, you've got to remember this: it doesn't matter if I'm the baddest person in the world. It still doesn't change anything what's happening to our city. I'm not the baddest person in the world, folks. I'm actually a nice, good person, right? I'm down here on behalf of the good people of Liverpool, right? I believe it's my duty to come down here now and bring the awful truth to my fellow Scouse brothers and sisters, my wonderful Scouse fam. What is happening to our city? So, but like I say, argument's sake, I was the worst person in the world. Let's just say I am. It still changes nothing regarding cultural change. There's still a cultural change issue to be dealt with, right? I'm not the baddest in the world. I'm a good person, right? But let's just say, for argument's sake, I was. It still changes nothing. So therefore, they're either just going to give Joe Owens the silent treatment before, during and after the general election, depending on how well I do. Or there's going to be some article in the Echo, juicy gossip, Joe Owens when he used to wake the doors, all these people he thumped, or whatever, right? Because they're not going to deal with the awful truth. That's why Joe Owens is being ignored, right? I've been doing these videos, hundreds of them, nearly 1,000, for the past 2 years. And no one's discussing it or talking about it anywhere. No screaming banshees, harpies, no to Joey Owens, yes to refugees. Where's all that lot, right? Silence, again, silence. They don't want to bring any attention whatsoever to Joe Owens and what I'm doing. I am bringing the awful truth to the good people of Liverpool, my fellow Scouse brothers and sisters, my wonderful Scouse fam. What are these politicians doing? What's Liam Thorpe of the Liverpool Echo doing? Silence. When are they going to interview Joe Owens? Never. When are they going to address the thorny issue of cultural change that's now changing our city by the day? When are they going to discuss? I'll tell you when. Never. They're just going to ignore it. And if it's left ignored, then like I've said, our city will indeed go the way other towns and cities went, and will be culturally changed. Like I've said before, go and have a walk in and around Glodwick in Oldham. Show me where the strength lies in diversity there. It certainly doesn't. Show me in that community where the local culture prevails. It doesn't. It's been replaced by another culture, and that culture is in the driving seat. It's sunk its roots in so deep, it's well and truly in the driving seat. Now, that's not me making this up. That's not me being horrible. That's the awful truth. We don't want our city to go the same way, where there's mistrust, division and parallel lives. We don't want that for our city. Why would we? Right? Why should we? We have watched what's happened to other parts of the country, where mistrust, division and parallel lives prevail. We don't want that in our city. That is not far-right racist or whatever you want to call it. That is common sense, if you ask me. Why would we want that in our city? Why do we want the mistrust, the division, the parallel lives? Why do we want that in our city? Because that's what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. We see it now in the once proud working class Scouse community of Kensington and Fairfield. We see it there. This is not Joe Owens making this up. It is real and present. And like I've said, if I'm the worst person in the world, it's irrelevant. There's still an issue of cultural change that needs addressing. So it doesn't matter. Right? Who brings this message to you? There's still an issue that needs dealing with. And they're not dealing with it, ladies and gentlemen. They're ignoring it. Right? And they're going to keep ignoring it. And do you know what we do? Come the general election, what we do, should I say, what the good people of Wavertree do, or I hope you do, go out and give Joe Owens your vote. That is the only way these people are going to sit up and listen and take note, because if I get a really, really, really good vote, they're going to have to address this issue. They cannot just ignore it, because it's a mandate then in the area, right? That it is a mandate where the people have spoken. They want no more of this. So it's crucial the good people of Wavertree get out and vote for Joe Owens, right? And other people across the city and other constituencies, if there are candidates standing there you believe are credible, reliable, oppose further cultural change, then give them your vote. We must send a message loud and clear to these reckless politicians who are totally disregarding our unique Scouse character, traditions and cultural identity. You, Ian Byrne, you've been watching Liverpool at Wembley for how long, sir? You have watched what's happened to Wembley the past 30, 40 years, haven't you? Yeah, of course you have. Do you want that transformation for our city? Because that's the way it's going, right? You need to answer these questions. You need to post on your social media where you stand regarding this. Now, I don't mean a few refugees have come over on a dinghy and landed at Dover, and the women and children. I don't mean that. I'm on about the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands that are now coming into the country, legally and illegally. Do you want this to continue? Are you happy with the numbers that are now coming into Liverpool? Are you happy the way Liverpool streets and communities are being culturally changed. You need to nail your colours to the mast. Paula Barker, who I'll be challenging in the forthcoming general election. You, my love, if I may, you need to nail your colours to the mast. Where do you stand on this? The historic neighbourhood of, or the historic, I'll call it neighbourhood, the historic neighbourhood of Wavertree, that has been culturally changed more and more by the day. Are you happy with this change? Do you want this change to continue? Are you going to oppose further change? Do you believe that people here in power, in influence in Liverpool need to get around the table and discuss, can our city survive continual, indefinite numbers of new arrivals being dispersed in our glorious city? These answers people need to know, right? The good people of Wavertree and elsewhere, you need to email Paula Barker, and as I say, other areas around the city, whatever constituency, you need to email your MP. But in my case, I would ask the good people of Wavertree to email Paula Barker and put her on the spot. Where does she stand regarding further cultural change of our glorious city? Is she in favour of it or isn't she? Not all this, Liverpool remains a city open to all those fleeing war and oppression. Yeah, I agree with that. But that's not the same as whole streets and communities being culturally changed. How many then do we accept? Is it forever? Is it indefinite? That's what I'm saying. These questions need answering. You cannot just ignore your constituents. They have a right to know what is happening to their city. But you're not going to. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you can email Paula Barker, Ian Byrne, Dan Carden, Kim Johnson or whoever, and you will get the silly same reply. Liverpool remains a city open to those fleeing oppression and war. Yeah, I agree, but how many and for how long? And like I've said, the 50,000 coming across the channel in dinghies pales into insignificance. The 700,000 plus that are coming in the country legally via Heathrow and Gatwick. That needs stopping. Are you opposed to that, or you believe that should continue, or should we have more? I could go on, ladies and gentlemen, but once again I've made my point. So the good people of Wavertree, email your MP Paula Barker and ask her where she stands. But don't be fobbed off, right? Don't be fobbed off with like some, she hasn't really answered you. Oh, Liverpool remains a city open to all those fleeing war and oppression. Yeah, listen, I agree with that, madam, right? No one wouldn't. But it's how many and for how long? You just can't have the whole world pouring into our city and indefinite and everything just carries on as normal. That doesn't happen and won't happen. The problems as we see now are occurring. So gone on a bit there, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll cut it short. You need to email your respective MPs and ask them where do they stand regarding further cultural change of our glorious city. Are they for more, or are they for less, or do they believe it should be stopped? They need to answer these important questions. Our city's future is at stake, because long-term cultural change is a threat to our unique Scouse character, traditions and cultural identity. And like I've said before, ladies and gentlemen, once the new arrivals are in the driving seat, then we dance to their tune. Once these streets and communities have been culturally changed, there is no changing them back, right? We have witnessed this in many towns and cities across the country. There is no changing London back, Birmingham, Leicester back, many parts of Oldham, Burnley, Blackburn, Bury, Bradford. The list is endless. We don't want this in our city. We don't want the mistrust, the division, the parallel lives, right? And that's all I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, bringing the awful truth, because that's what it is. Because if we remain silent and these politicians continue to get away with what they're doing, we will indeed lose our glorious city. And that is just a tragedy, right? And remember, the Scouse legacy belongs to our children and grandchildren, no one else, ladies and gentlemen. I'll finish now, because once again, I believe I've made my point. Remember, no to cultural change, yes to Scouse pride. Shout it out loud, Scouse and proud. Okay, thank you.